This video is another in a series of videos covering authority management, best practices, and workflows using library.solution v5x applications. Authority management is necessary in order to improve data quality and data consistency, which in turn improves search and discovery, the primary mission for catalogers. In this video, I'm showing you some of the common data issues you'll find when reviewing the report of national authority headings. Other videos cover how to run the authority reports, as well as how to correct the headings for each authority type. So let's take a look at a national authority report. First, I want to show you that in Release 5.7.4, two new columns have been added to the authority reports, a source column and a source note column. This is helpful to catalogers who are working on authority cleanup, while you can see at a glance some of the context. Now notice that there are some empty cells in the source column. This is due to the source not being saved in this particular database table until a modification was made in 2018 or version 5.4. So be assured that there is a source associated with that heading. You'll see it in the link title. It's just not visible in this particular report. Alright, so for the video I'm going back to a 573 database, so I'm using a report that doesn't have the source or source note column. And it's currently sorted by heading in column A. So normally I work with these reports using Excel, but for the purposes of this video I've put them into a Google Sheet because it's a little easier to see the data. So I usually review the report. I look at the first 100 or 200 rows until the heading starts with A. Typically there's some oddities that I'll catch in the beginning and the ending of a report. And I usually look at those first, and I might highlight some of the cells just to make sure I don't forget them. But in reality, when I'm doing the final cleanup, I go through every row in the report just to make sure. I just like to kind of know what I'm heading for. So let me jump down to the bottom of this report and work from the bottom up. There's a couple things I want to show you. First, you may see a few rows that have no data in column A. There's no headings associated with this authority in the database, but they are valid. If you look at the link titles, you will see data. It's just not in the report. Now, these seems to be occurring mostly with TLC servers. I haven't seen this occurring quite as often in customers. If you have that issue, and there's a lot of them, report it to support, and we can take a deeper look to see what's causing this issue. I think it was happening quite some time ago, but it's been fixed. Now, you may also see something that says #error or #name. And that is just Excel not being able to display the particular data. So if I click on that cell, I'll be able to see the data display in the address or the text box up above there. And you'll see it's a corporate name for a musical group, and it starts with 2 hyphens. And that's why Excel doesn't know quite what to do with those 2 hyphens, so it throws an error. I also see it used a lot with the series title for dummies, because that starts with 2 hyphens. Just ignore it. It's just Excel being weird. The data is perfectly valid, and it's linked to a good authority record, so no need to be concerned. All right, I'm going to resort the report by the column B, the authority type. It's a little easier to talk about the kinds of data issues you'll see when you're looking based on the authority type. So let me do that now. Let me clear the screen. We start with corporate name as the authority type. Let me click on that so I can get that highlighted off. And let me jump to one of the first examples I want to show you. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me scrolling down hundreds of rows. All right, so here's something odd. I see the geographic location name, United States, but it's in a corporate authority type. So I know it's a corporate name of some sort. But I'm wondering why there's no data following the name. If there's a departmental agency or something, that name would be visible. As you can see, there are some other examples there for United States, different agencies and things. So I opened the authority records for a couple of these, and I found what I suspected. So this is one of those corporate name plus title data fields that Mark allows. Mark allows a name plus a title in the same data field. And this is something that LS2 cataloging doesn't have, because it was originally designed to be a linked data editor, making a transition to linked data editor. And linked data, you always have the name separate from the title. So we plan to fix this, so I would ignore this for now. Just trust that this is a valid authority record. You can see it is linked to an authority record control number. It's perfectly valid, so I would ignore this. If you see this in your authority reports, just know that we are planning development to fix this issue, so you'll be able to see the name plus the title in that heading column A, as well as have the correct authority type and be able to see the data in a local authority record if necessary. So we have some work to do. It's coming. For now, just ignore it. Let me jump to another example of a geographic. All right, here's apparent duplication, the same heading, West, US, in two rows here. So what's that about? It is a geographic authority type. But now I see when I look at the authority control number, yes, I see why these are perfectly valid authorities. But this first entry is a subject heading coming from the Library of Congress subject heading for children. The SJ prefix indicates that it is from that LCSHAC thesaurus. And the second entry is from the general Library of Congress subject headings, the SH prefix. So those are perfectly valid. They're just in different data fields in the title record. All right, here's one issue where I have a number of names, but there's no other data. Now I know that one of those names, Tony Abbott with the birth date, is going to be the authority record for just the name. But these other three are likely authority has a name plus a title, as we see. And when I did the research on the authority record, I could see it does have a title. This is probably being used as a series title entry. But there's also a Tony Abbott without a birth date, so I would want to check the linked titles to confirm that that is valid for that particular individual. Perfectly valid authorities, is it correct for that title? Now this I'm just pointing out, you'll see this in the National Authority Reports where it says series title. This is coming from the ITSMARC Authority's series service. This is a service that TLC is building for a number of series title entries, and it's got a very long authority control number, and you can't actually find that authority control number anywhere. The record, I mean, it's just strictly data in the database at this moment. Typically in the National Authority Reports, you're going to see uniform titles that can be uniform title as well as series titles. And so we have two that are parent duplicates, Aesop's Fables. These are uniform titles. So why do we have two entries that seem to be identical with two different authority records? So when I did the research, then I found out, oh yes, it's the second entry for Aesop's Fables has an additional data field, selections. And that data is not visible in the heading in this report, nor is it visible in the title editor, because selections isn't very useful for linked data editors. So currently, these are both valid and perfectly fine to use. And then finally, this is a group of series titles. Now you'll see they are labeled uniform title. That is because the MARC standard uses uniform title authority to be either a uniform title or a series title entry. And I'm questioning why you might want to think about consolidating these, Greenlight Reader, for the user perspective. Which is the right one, Greenlight Reader or Greenlight Readers in plural? Do you want to consolidate all the level 1s to have one entry and all the level 2s to have one entry? So do you want 3 authority records instead of 5 is what I'm kind of wondering. This is a judgment call. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just more about thinking of your users searching in LS2PAC. Will they find it better to have one entry, just Greenlight Reader, or one for level 1 and one for level 2? All right, just some reference material here to give you. This is a listing of the 2 authority reports, and so you can find them in LS2 reports whenever you're ready. This next slide provides a summary of the kinds of data issues that I look for when I'm reviewing the National Authority Report. Very similar to the local authority, but not quite as complex. Then a reminder that there are documents and videos covering authority control and authority management in your LS community, Cataloger's Corner. And finally, I encourage everyone to use LS Ideas to request terms be added to a glossary, suggest an improvement, or add a comment or one of your 5 votes to an idea that's also important to you.